Hello and a warm welcome to the Southern View. I'm Sam Daniel from Chennai. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll bring you all the news updates from across South India. I'll also be joined by my colleagues Deepak Bopana from Bengaluru and Ashish from Hyderabad. Let's begin with news from Tamil Nadu. The Thiruparangundram Karthikei Deepam controversy is now turning into a political as well as a religious debate. RSS chief Mohan Bhagavat has said the issue would be escalated if required in Tamil Nadu. This began with the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court ruling that the Karthikei Deepam can be lit on an ancient pillar on the hilltop next to a dargah on the Thiruparangundram hill, besides at the regular spot where for more than 100 years the lamp has been lit near the Uchi Pillayar temple. The court ordered twice. First, the temple administration had refused to do so, citing law and order problems. Later, the police invoked prohibitory orders in Madurai, in Thiruparangundram, when the court ordered the petitioner to light the lamp himself, taking police escort from the CISF. Even that didn't happen. The next day, the police ordered the petitioner to do that with the help of the local police at that time too. The police could not enforce it, citing law and order. And the Tamil Nadu government has now moved an appeal which will be heard on Friday. The court also had initiated contempt proceedings, which the Tamil Nadu government has challenged in the Supreme Court. The Tamil Nadu government argues that for more than 100 years, the lamp has been lit at another point which local devotees and local communities accept, and any change would offend their sentiments. And this is what Karthi Chidambaram had told my colleague Ashwin in Delhi, responding to Mohan Bhagavat's remarks.
When asked to Mohan Bhagavat that whether you will make this as a national issue, he said that this is an awakening of Hindus in Tamil Nadu and we will get the desired results.
I think the understanding of the RSS of the Hindu faith in Tamil Nadu is rather limited. We are in Tamil Nadu perhaps the most Hindu of all people. We are the most orthodox people in India. We are the most religious ceremony following people and most ritualistic people. So our attending of temple events is a way of life for us. The RSS need not come and teach us what the Hindu faith is and how it has to be practiced. The Tamil Nadu also has social harmony, and the RSS is always misunderstands Tamil Nadu. They will continue to misunderstand Tamil Nadu, and that is why the BJP will always be a rejected party in Tamil Nadu, because their version of Hindutva doesn't gel well with the practice of the faith in Tamil Nadu. As far as Thiruparangundram is concerned, communities have existed peacefully there. And these outside elements are trying to introduce newer rituals which are not part of the normal practice of the faith.
आरएसएस का चीफ मोहन भगत जी माचिस लेके तमिलनाडु पहुंच गए आग लगाने के लिए, और गांवों में, घरों में, नगरों में आग लगाने के लिए. तमिलनाडु में ये नहीं चलेगा. तमिलनाडु इनका आग लगाने वाला राजनीति का रिजेक्ट करेगा. आरएसएस का आग लगा के जलाने वाला पॉलिटिक्स का तमिलनाडु रिजेक्ट करेगी.
The Tamil Nadu government reiterates that it's not true that no lamp has been lit at Thiruparangundram. Following the century-old custom, they say it was lit near the Uchi Pillayar temple, and that they will not accept demands by outsiders disturbing what they call as communal amity between Hindus and Muslims on the ground. They've also moved an impeachment motion against Justice Swaminathan, but they argue it's not pertaining to the Thiruparangundram verdict. And this is what Mohan Bhagavat had said in Trichy, responding to a specific question on Thiruparangundram.
The awakening of Hindus in Tamil Nadu, I think it is enough to bring about the desired result. But if at all it is needed, the Hindu organizations are working in Tamil Nadu also. They will let us know, then we will think about it. But at present, I think the issue can be resolved here only on basis of the Hindu strength in Tamil Nadu only. we will not need to escalate it. But one thing is pakka, that issue would be favorably for Hindus.
Mr. Mohan Bhagwat is overestimating his pull or the capacity of the RSS or the BJP in the state of Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is a place where people are very, very clear. They separate religion and politics. That is the reason for the growth of the state of Tamil Nadu. For the people of Tamil Nadu, religion is a personal matter. They won't mix it with politics. And this toxic politics of Hindutva, peddled by the RSS and the BJP, will not work in the state of Tamil Nadu. And they want to make Thiruparangundram an example. They want to make an example out of it. And rightly, the Tamil Nadu government, the DMK government, has thwarted the attempts of the Hindutva forces to create communal tension in that area. They are trying it for the last 1 year, and they will not have any traction at all. People here want peace, communal harmony and growth, which the BJP and the RSS cannot deliver.
एक भगवान के यहाँ दिया जलाने में जरा आपत्ति आ रही है तो फिर क्या बोलेंगे? वोट बैंक की राजनीति कहाँ तक गई है? भगवान के सामने दिया जलाने को विरोध, जो डिसीजन लेते हैं उसको विरोध बहुत गलत चल रहा है। तमिलनाडु में उसका लोग उसका पूरा बदला लेंगे।
कल अमित शाह जी ने भी बोला, शिवसेना के उद्धव ठाकरे जी भी इसको साइन करें।
देखो, जो गर्व से कहो हम हिंदू है, जो बाला साहेब ठाकरे हिंदू हृदय सम्राट उनको कहते थे, उनको ये अपने वंशज समझते हैं, लेकिन सिर्फ असंगशी संघ जो मराठी में कहते हैं, दुर्जन लोगों के साथ आने से उनको मेंटली प्रॉब्लम हुआ है और इसीलिए इसी तरह की बातें करे हिंदुत्व ये भूल गए।
Most of the parties in the opposition have come together and moved this motion, of course led by the DMK. This is like what the opposition parties and particularly BJP would like to say. It is not about any one single incident or against any people or anything like that. It is one particular judge who has acted against the constitution and acted against the secular credentials which is enshrined in our constitution. He's openly biased, openly taking certain ideologies, supporting certain ideologies.
इम्पीचमेंट की प्रक्रिया निष्पक्ष स्वतंत्र होनी चाहिए। दुर्भाग्य की बात यह है कि जब किसी व्यक्ति विशेष को कोई सुरक्षा चक्र देना होता है तो इम्पीचमेंट में खूब विलंब किया जाता है। जिन लोगों को एडमिट करना है, उस मोशन को देखना है, वो विलंब करते हैं। ये हमने पहले भी एक उत्तर प्रदेश के केस में देखा और मुझे कोई खास संदेह नहीं कि यही होगा शायद इस बार भी, जो दक्षिण भारत से आ रहा है मुद्दा।
जो इम्पीचमेंट ला रहे वो हिंदू नहीं है क्या? वो कौन है? वो भी तो हिंदू है। आर्य द्रविड़ की भी लड़ाई करोगे क्या आगे चलकर? हाँ, क्या क्या करना क्या चाहते हो देश में? तो उन्होंने, वो हिंदू नहीं है क्या? उनके त्योहार पर मनाया करोगे तो त्योहार पे जो है वो 100 साल से चल रहा है वो।
It's just not political, spiritual and social leaders voicing on the Thiruparangundram issue, but now even corporates are joining the bandwagon. The latest to join is Zoho founder Sridhar Vembu, who on X shared that targeting Justice G.R. Swaminathan because of a court judgment, he says, was unfavorable. He says it's a blatant attempt to intimidate and not right. In fact, Sridhar Vembu is also known for his right-wing Hindu leanings. The larger picture, while the Tamil Nadu government argues that this has been going on for more than 100 years and any change could lead to a law and order issue, particularly by the Dargah on top of the hill. Others argue, the judgment in fact says this is also an order to assert the temple ownership or the ownership of that land with the temple, to light the lamp and assert the ownership, something the government says that was never disputed. And they also point out that already a 2-judge bench had ruled against lighting the lamp on the pillar on top of the hill next to the Dargah, and a single judge, in this case Justice Swaminathan, cannot unilaterally change that. We'll have to wait and watch how this case would pan in the Supreme Court. That's all from Tamil Nadu. We'll now go over to my colleague Ashish. Ashish?
Thank you, Sam. In fact, you have reported about Deepam controversy and how political parties and leaders from Tamil Nadu, they are reacting on this issue. In fact, in Andhra Pradesh, the Deputy Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh and Janasena Party Chief, Pawan Kalyan, has also reacted on this issue. In fact, he has suggested the neighboring state government, the DMK government of Tamil Nadu, that they should show maturity over the issue. Pawan Kalyan had visited Tamil Nadu earlier, and after returning from there, he was continuously slamming and in fact criticizing the Stalin government of Tamil Nadu, and he suggested that hatred against one individual should not become an issue against one particular religion. And he also in fact slammed the DMK government as well as Stalin government. Listening to what Pawan Kalyan had to say on this whole controversy.
By hating BJP and Modi ji, there is a need to do all this. You have to separate religion from individuals. If they want to hate a particular party, if they want to blame a particular leader, they are free to do. That is a part and parcel of democracy. There will be counters for that. That's an issue. But not this way. Not this way. I feel hatred on one individual should not be looked at. Should not be taken as confined to one language, to confined to one targeted as one religion. I think this practice, I think they have to show more maturity in.
Andhra Pradesh shares border with Tamil Nadu, and now Tamil Nadu is going to go for an election of sometime early next year. And Pawan Kalyan is continuously touring Tamil Nadu. And earlier we noticed and we witnessed that how Pawan Kalyan was vocal on this Sanatana issue. When we met, in fact, Pawan Kalyan earlier this week, in fact, yesterday we met Pawan Kalyan and we asked about his view and vision about this whole Deepam controversy, as well as how and why he's talking about a lot about Sanatana. He clearly said that he is fighting against there is appeasement politics, which is prevailed in every state. In fact, he also suggested that Hindu community should come and unite and fight for Sanatana right. So clearly, Pawan Kalyan is talking politics, as well as he's claiming that he's fighting for Sanatana Dharma, and he's talking about Sanatana right. Now we'll go to Karnataka, where my colleague Deepak will tell you a story related to neighboring state of Karnataka.
From Karnataka, where the BJP has hit out over the simmering issue with regard to the leadership tussle that continues in Karnataka, with the Karnataka Chief Minister's race heating up and the politics over it continuing. Karnataka CM's son has quelled buzz of a January revolution. Karnataka CM's son has said that there is no leadership change that is taking place right now in the state. Let's get in Deepak Bopanna for more details on that. Deepak.
As far as the leadership issue is concerned, it is definitely, something that once again has made all the news. And today, the Chief Minister's son, of course, has raked it up by saying there's a clear communication that has been sent. Mr. Ranganath here with me. He is, of course, a legislator here, sir. For the Chief Minister's son to again make a strong, assertive statement that clear indication and a message has been sent by the High Command. What do you make of him making a statement like this, especially at a junction where the High Command very recently, Mr. K.C. Venugopal himself said that we are yet to take a decision on this?
Our Congress culture is supposed to be a disciplined cadet. So we are supposed to be highly disciplined and watchful about our statements. lot of people depend on our talk, our statements, our personality. So I don't want to embarrass the government. I don't want to embarrass the party. I don't want to embarrass my voters. I don't want to embarrass the public. And our duty is supposed to be taking the importance about the whatever
But
people's suffering.
Why is an assertive statement like this coming to the fore? Do you feel it was wrong for him to make this statement? What's your take on his statement? So if you could tell me.
I don't endorse it.
You don't endorse the statement. And also.
And let me be within my limitation of what am I supposed to say, what am I supposed to do, what is my responsibility. Let me stick to that. Being me a disciplined MLA of Congress
This is
party.
not the first time the Chief Minister's son has made a comment like this. Do you feel that, when notices were issued to other legislators and, many of them have said, why not similar action to the Chief Minister's son?
No, see, as you have heard our Chief Minister saying that everything depends on High Command.
Yeah.
So we all are waiting from the High Command's orders.
Okay.
So let us abide by that.
Okay, Dr. Ranga, thank you for speaking to NDTV. Let's in fact listen into what Mr. Yatindra had to say a little while earlier.
For PM post right now, I have already told you. Now everything is clear. The High Command has clearly said. High Command has clearly said. As of now, there will be no change in the leadership. No conflict.
Sir, Mr. Yatindra Siddaramaiah has once again said that clear instructions have come from, the High Command that there's not going to be a change in Chief Minister. The BJP, of course, has been time and again saying that the leadership issue has taken center stage during the winter session. How do you really look at these sort of comments that are coming in?
What Yatindra Siddaramaiah is claiming is not important. What is important for people of Karnataka, because of the infighting of the ruling Congress government, administration has taken a back seat. There is no development. And I was told MLAs within the ruling Congress party in the CLP meeting has fought each other because they are not getting any funds for development. This is the situation in Karnataka. When ruling MLA, they themselves were upset with this Congress government. You can imagine the MLAs of the opposition party. The fact is, Siddaramaiah government in last 2.5 years, they have done nothing for Karnataka's development. Only corruption, corruption and corruption. So I demand Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, it's not important that how many days you are going to continue as Chief Minister. But as long as you occupy that seat, what is that you have done for the farmers of Karnataka state? What is that you have done in terms of development for the Karnataka? They have done nothing. It's a big zero.
Well, meanwhile, while reacting to the entire saga around leadership change and the Chief Minister's son's statement, a crass comment has come in from a Congress legislator, Iqbal Hussain, who has equated this entire issue to a heinous crime. He says, he uses a phrase where he compares, rape and then says that it's okay if others do it, but it's not okay if I do it, trying to say that the comments that were made by Mr. Yatindra is okay, but when he had made similar comments, action was initiated against him by the KPCC. Now, we'll really have to, see whether this statement was necessary while he was, of course, trying to make a point about, the leadership comments, but why drag in a heinous crime like a rape into this entire thing is the question that many of them have, of course, raised now. Let's firstly listen in to what Mr. Iqbal Hussain originally said, and then we also confronted the legislator about these, comments, but he refused to apologize and went on to say it's not my problem if people take my statements out of context. First, let's listen to the original comment and then what the legislator had to say.
आप ऐसा स्टेटमेंट किया तो आपको नोटिस दिया जाता है, आपको क्या लगता है सर? सिद्धरामैया बेटे को नहीं दे रहे हैं?
हम किया तो बलात्कार, वो किया तो चमत्कार नहीं। कोई भी हो, कांग्रेस पार्टी में सभी एक ही है। कानून के आगे कोई भी बात किया तो भी सबको भी नोटिस देना।
Well, that was in fact, the statement that Mr. Iqbal Hussain made. Let's now listen to the sequence where I questioned the legislator about this comment, and he continues to defend himself. Let's listen to that entire sequence that is coming through at the moment.
Issue is concerned, it is definitely, Moving on to some more news that's coming in from Karnataka. The RSS issue is once again back. Now, very recently, of course, in the Karnataka Assembly, the Home Minister had given a reply to one of the legislators of the BJP, going on to say that in 2025 there were over 500 RSS marches that were held in Karnataka, and all of them went on quite peacefully. So while we are looking at that sort of a response that came in, the BJP was quick to pounce on the Congress party and Mr. Priyank Kharge's earlier comments, and went on to say that this was a direct hit to Mr. Priyank Kharge and the other Congress leaders, who went on to say that permissions need to be taken by the RSS through any of their rallies and events. The Congress, meanwhile, of course, has once again defended the statements of Mr. Priyank Kharge. Let's listen to these reactions that are flowing in. Some of the BJP leaders are saying that unnecessarily leaders like Priyank Kharge and the other Congress leaders try to tarnish the name of the RSS, try to roadblock their marches when they have always been on the path of peace, is what some of the BJP say.
See, nobody is going to stop anybody who want to be peaceful and law-abiding as such. Whether it's RSS, whether it's any political party, whether any individual, any organization, law comes first. Law of this land applies to everybody. They should also learn to take permissions and run everything. They want to use a government place, they should know how to take government. If it is permitted, then they should use. If the government has banned the places, they cannot use it. They cannot say, just because I am RSS, I can do whatever I want as such. We are not against anybody as such. Even Priyanka Kharge is not against anybody as such. Anybody is taking law into their hand is a matter of question to be discussed. That's what the Home Minister says also. Nobody is bigger than the law.
What do you make of the Home Minister's response that over 500 marches of RSS in Karnataka, and most of them being peaceful? And in the past, we've seen some questions being raised about permissions to RSS.
Not most of the Pathasanchal. RSS is known for social service. RSS is known for nation building. RSS is known for Hindutva. But unfortunately, this confusion was created by none other than Priyanka Kharge himself. Priyanka Kharge, he never talks about what progress he has made in his own department, in his about rural development department. Every time he keeps targeting RSS, every time he keeps targeting Narendra Modi ji. Why? Only to gain the media attention. So at least now we should realize and shut his mouth.
RSS marches being predominantly peaceful, even as in the past there have been several questions that was raised by Mr. Priyank Kharge and other leaders about RSS marches, usage of sticks there, and multiple other concerns.
See, Congress government wanted to create a confusion among the public. Since 100 years, RSS peacefully they are organizing in the country, and whatever the activities they are doing, so totally a peaceful atmosphere. Now, so looking at the RSS discipline, the Congress have wanted to disturb the RSS, and they have started to stop the activities. So now the question is, RSS is not a bad organization. So they have not done any wrong in this country.
Well, that's all in today's edition of the Southern View. Thanking Ashish and also Sam Daniel. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. Don't go anywhere.